Pro Sua Virili, according to his own. Viral? What in the world does that mean? Have you ever read a bit of Latin that seemed to make no sense at all? You were probably encountering an idiom. Now, an idiom is a phrase where the words together have a somewhat different meaning than they do individually. It's like a secret code that you need to crack. And today, we're going to crack the code of a very common Latin idiom, pro sua virili. Let's dive in. If you're ready to level up your Latin, then our journey continues in 1512 with Erasmus's De Copia Verborum Ac Rerum, a masterpiece I like to call leveling up your style and content. This portion, like the last episode, comes from Erasmus's dedicatory letter to his friend, the prominent English scholar John Colet. Colet was a key figure in the humanist movement, and he was a strong advocate for educational reform. This letter was written by Erasmus to Colet as a dedication to that famous work, De Copia, leveling up your style and content. Let's read the Latin together. It goes like this. Nimium profecto sit invidus, qui talia conanti non impensissime faveat, impius qui reclamat et distrapat, hostis Angliae qui non pro sua virili argumenti aliquid conferre studeat. Now we could translate that something like this. Understand, this is just a rough translation, it's not polished. Of course, that man is just plain envious who does not fully approve of someone that tries things like this. And he is a wicked man who objects to it and makes a fuss. And that man is an enemy to England who does not strive. And then we run into the idiom, pro sua virili. Wait a minute, what does this phrase mean? Does not strive according to his own viral? See, what we have encountered here is an idiom, and this idiom is going to give us trouble until we understand what it means. It's going to slow us down. So remember that an idiom is a phrase where the individual words don't make sense in a literal fashion, but together they have a specialized meaning. And now let's get an even more precise definition. Let's check a good dictionary definition. And that definition goes like this. It's a group of words established by usage as having a meaning not deducible from those of the individual words. Common English examples might be something like, it's raining cats and dogs, and to see the light. Those are idiomatic expressions. So now we go look up virilis in the Lewis and Short Dictionary, and we find it's a third declension adjective that means of or belonging to a man. It's manly or virile. Now, how is that going to help us here in this bit of Erasmus? At this point, if I haven't encountered the idiom before, and of course there are thousands in Latin, then I usually do one of two things. First, I read through the dictionary entry in something like Lewis and Short to see if I can find an author who used this phrase, pro virili sua. And as it turns out, we can find it in that dictionary under 1C2 alpha. It means to the utmost of their ability, as far as in them lies. And there we also find that this is used by the classical authors Cicero, Livy, Tacitus, Ovid, and others. So of course, this is where Erasmus came upon the idea. He modified one of their phrases, pro virili parte, for example, to this, pro sua virili, according to his own strength. So now we have a good sense of what it means. But I'm going to show you a shortcut, something a helpful teacher once taught me. I go to the online edition of William Robertson's Dictionary of Latin Phrases. The whole title is really fascinating, especially this part. He says, Robertson does, that the work is, quote, for the more speedy progress of students in Latin composition. Now, who doesn't want to be more speedy? Who doesn't want to learn these things faster? Now, this was published in 1824, and if you just enter one of these phrases, almost always you will find the exact idiom that you are looking for. And the search feature is incredible. So what does it mean? It means with all my power, as much as it lies in me. Pro virium meardrum portiuncula, pro virili portione, pro copia, pro facultatibus, etc. You see, pro virili mea, and we get some other nice synonymous phrases as well. So it can mean pro copia, with all my might, pro facultatibus, and pro virili portione. So now we have this idiom in our arsenal. We've put it into our toolbox. We understand it, and the next time we encounter it, it's not going to seek our boat when we bump into it. But in order to really remember it, we have to use the idiom. So let's try a few variations. Quomodo Latine dicamus, how do we say in Latin? We are studying Latin with all our might. Well, we could use this idiom and say, pro nostra virili linguae Latinae studeamus. Or quomodo dici Latine potest. How do we say in Latin, I don't think you are really making an effort to walk. Well, we could use this same idiom and say, pro virili tua non ambulas. You are not walking according to your whole power. Now, these are simple examples, of course, and Erasmus did something that was a little more complicated. But the principle is the same. So, now you can put this idiom in your toolkit, pro sua virili, and you can take it out the next time you encounter this in order to make your reading and your speaking of Latin more smooth and natural and lovely. Now imagine yourself confidently reading passages that once seemed impossible, no longer tripped up by tricky idioms like this one. You can read authentic Latin like a pro. And here's what we can do for you. You can like this video, that's the first thing. You can subscribe to the channel, and then you can make an investment in yourself by exploring my courses at LatinPerDiem.com. My asynchronous courses, these are video course lessons combined with a supportive community and my own personal guidance, will give you the tools you need to truly master Latin, to level up your style and content. So your journey to mastery heads now. Head over to LatinPerDiem.com and let's unlock your Latin potential. And till next time, remember, vale tote omnes.